What's up, YouTube? Day 4 of fasting. No food. Just sea moss tea, other herbal teas, coconut water. You know, I'm really gonna have to start writing down what I'm, about to say because, I'm running out of stuff to say because I'm just talking every day. But, just give me a suggestion. Anything you want me to touch on, let me know. Because if you bring it up, I'm gonna have something to say about it, in all likelihood. And if not, then I'll learn something. Because, like anybody should know, when you stop learning, you stop living. So I'm not saying I know everything, but when it comes to nutrition, pretty much. So hit me up, let me know. What was I gonna talk about today? Oh, today I was gonna say, we were all born sick. At this juncture in time or existence, because time is all perception. Every year is just a lap around the sun. Like I said, we're cosmic beings, and a lot of what's going on in like pretty much every phase of our existence, has to do with the cosmos and astrology. But people deny that and just call that hogwash or whatever. So anyway, we were all born sick, and what I mean by that, and to different degrees. I'm not saying everybody, is drastically sick or anything, but I'm just saying, your ancestry, most likely ate garbage. I'm not saying everyone on the planet, because, I've only met one guy in my whole life that had, parents that eat the way I do, and he's pushing like 80 something. He's in great health. Again, you can look at, a few cases of people like that, that are in pretty great health in their 80s, but this guy's parents were actually on the same note. So, like I'm saying, with if you have a diabetic parent, especially if it's the mother, you'll probably have a problem with eyesight, because as you may know or heard from other videos, that sugar, starch, whatever, that dehydrates the system, and the body will draw water or moisture from various points of the body to compensate to digest this starch or sugar, and it draws that moisture from your eyes and joints. That's what creates arthritis and stiffness, because starch means to stiffen. It comes from the word sturgeon, which means to stiffen. It's a stiffening agent. That's why people spray it on their clothing, because it's not a food. It never. It's for control. Like I've been saying, but anyway. What I'm saying is that there's really no such thing as heredity. I mean, height and build and all that, okay, but I'm saying as far as disease, that's not hereditary. I mean, bacon and eggs every morning is hereditary. That's passing the plates down. So, we're at a point now where most of us are pretty much all of us are born sick, and it's just different degrees of sickness. So, that's really where we're at this stage in humanity and our I don't even want to say progression, but our existence. And I was gonna talk about energy and will. You have a divine life force energy. You already have that, and when you break that, you break your will. And like I've been saying, you have low energy in the morning, you'll have low willpower to get out of bed in the morning. And if your willpower is low, you'll succumb to cravings. People eating 76 bananas a day, you know who you are. You have no willpower. You're eating like that. I mean, you're starving to death. If you feel like you need to consume that much, your body's telling you, I need food, I need nourishment, and you just keep giving it food. Everybody eats food, Murder King, that's food. It'll fill you up, but it's not nutrition, it's not nourishment. So it stimulates. You want to get a slave through a day? That's why they say people should be eating 7 or 8 times a day now, because the body is breaking down so much that they're like, we have to tell these people to stimulate themselves throughout the day, or they're just not. It's just going to get to a point where they can't even come to work or do anything, because they're living off of stimulants. They're not being nourished their entire lives. So why go raw? Why go raw vegan? First of all, when you cook anything above 118 degrees, you create chemicals and your food begins to die. Or the energy just transfers, because nothing really dies. No one ever really dies. Nerd. Nobody ever really dies. Energy just transcends and changes form. It doesn't die. So yeah, as far as being a raw vegan, that's the way to go. You know what I mean? Like that's why I say, it's good that these people, even though they're promoting an ignorant diet, saying, a bunch of bananas a day or all that, all eating fruits out of season, all that. That's cool, I guess, because it's better than pure blood and high starches. So, I would say that's better, but it's not. It's a stepping stone. It's not where you want to be. It's not where you want to end up. So, yeah, you don't want to do anything to temperatures above 118 degrees, like I'm saying. So, you want to be raw, and yeah, like you want to have whole foods. Cultivars are not whole. Their molecular structure has been broken. So they're hybrids. They're not whole foods. So you want whole foods because their electrical resonance is complete. And with cultivars, they're man-made. Grafting is not natural. You would see grafting occur in nature if it was natural, but it's something that man has done. Anything that needs the aid of man to exist is artificial. Rice needs bogs. Black rice, if it's growing naturally up and down the Mississippi River, that's natural. But any other rice that needs the aid of man to exist or anything is artificial. Corn, because anything that's not in harmony with nature, the bugs will eat it up. Like I've been saying, it'll do a favor for you. And then you spray it, then they let your dumb ass eat it. So cranberries, they need bogs. And the slave side of my ancestry, or the slave master side of my ancestry, they're just different forms of slave. Because, like I've been saying, that there's just different levels of slavery. So the slave masters of my ancestry, they were cranberry farmers, and I know they come from a vine. They're cloned. They're not natural. They have to be grown in a bog. So by definition, it's not natural. If it needs the aid of man to exist on this planet. What else? Drugs, like I said, anything concentrated and isolated is a drug by definition. So sugar and starch, they're drugs. B12 injections, that's a drug. It's isolated and concentrated. Drugs treat the symptoms. Like if you have a runny nose, and you're like, man, I need to get something to stop this runny nose, and you take a chemical, a drug to do that, and you're treating the symptom, when really your body is purging out what it needs to purge out, and getting it out your nose. And your nose is related to your lungs. Anything in twos is related to anything in twos. Eyes related to kidneys, nose related to lungs, mouth related to the back door. So the body is basically similar to a single cell organism. Like I said, it's pretty basic. Everything is really, really basic. You break things down to the common denominator. And I know that people keep saying that well, bananas have potassium. You said mussels are potassium. You'll get more potassium from artesian water, high alkaline artesian water, than a cultivar banana, 20 cultivar bananas. Because they're fake. They're acid based, so that they cannot pull the minerals from the ground. And when they're cultivated, they just cannot do it. So they can only absorb it through moisture, wind, and sun. That's the only nutrients they can get. And that's another thing too. People say, bananas have the rind or whatever that that you peel off, so that protects it from the pesticide. Y'all don't realize that they've been spraying the trees for years, so it's soaked into the tree now. So it's poisoned the fruit years ago. But and again, like I said, organic does not mean it's not sprayed. It just means that they say they use live pesticides and herbicides, and you need to do your investigation on the different farmers and where you're getting your food from to really see if this is truthful organic agriculture. And like I'm saying about the mucus and how mucus attaches itself to whatever. The mucous membrane runs throughout the body and in every system. So it attaches itself to anything that is unwarranted, anything that's not supposed to be there. It'll attach itself to that, and then you'll purge it out. But if you keep offending the mucous membrane and putting things in your body that should not be there, like starch, it'll just, the mucous membrane will be so compromised the mucus won't be able to purge, won't be able to get out. So then it calcifies, solidifies, and then they call it plaque. And then the cells underneath that begin to erode because they're not getting any oxygen. And then the body puts all the low oxygen cells in one place to isolate the problem. And then it's a cyst, and then or a carbuncle or whatever, and then it'll grow into a tumor, and then they'll say you have cancer. But that that's really all it is low oxygen cells. A cell is a cell is a cell. You want high oxygen cells. If you have low oxygen cells, they'll become cancerous. It's just your body eating itself, basically, at that point, because you are nature, so you're gonna decompose. Any part of you that's low oxygen will begin to decompose. Like bed sores, that's your body decomposing itself. Yeah, that's what it is. A low oxygen areas that are low oxygen, they're just that area is just beginning to decompose. So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff on the list, but I'm gonna just say that for tomorrow. That's really about it, man. Let me know what you want me to touch on. And I know I covered a nice amount today. Just rewind it if you missed anything. And I forgot I'm supposed to end my videos with I love you. And we are brothers and sisters, so I do love you, because I love myself. So I love you, even the haters. I love you, and I know you're hating yourself. So I just want to tell you I love you. So to perpetuate that and to cease the hatred, it stops with me. The buck stops with me, as they say. So I love you, brothers and sisters, and I hope you're having a good weekend. And wherever you're at on the planet, like I said, I'll be in Australia in like 10 days. So Durian, man, hit me up, man. I know you talking, man. You don't ever address me. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool though, man. It's whatever, Like I said, peace out.